Welcome back, guys. So we'll continue with data modeling sessions. So now here we have relationship between the tables. So I can write many calculations on top of it, and I can visualize the data accordingly. So anyway, we'll come to visuals in the later sessions. Like we'll see how we can do reporting, how beautifully we can present. That we'll see in the next sessions. So let's try to understand what are these options here and what are this plus button here. So we have even more to discuss. So just understand for this, just make familiar about this data modeling tab completely. So if you click on a table, here we have properties of each and every table, like the name of the table. So by default, whatever the name we have in the databases, that will be captured here. So if you want to change, we can change. It's up to us. And whatever you change here, that will not reflect back in database. So that is already data is there. It is our presentation layer we call, logical model we call in other ways. So it is our we can change the names of anything of the tables or columns, so that will not reflect back in the database, because database have different names. So because we are using the reporting, there should be some name that should be very familiar in general. That's why I can just remove table as well. I can just make studio. So this is up to us what names we can give and what is the proper naming convention we follow, that we can do here. And synonyms, we know like what like Q&A, we have discussed Q&A and how synonyms helps with Q&A, how they both work together. Description is just like a description we can write. What is this table, what data it holds, everything. That is general thing. Is hidden means sometimes what happens, now I have this 1, 2, 3, 6 tables, for example. We may need to create some additional tables as part of reporting to do some I mean, if you have some challenge in data level, in that case we create something called bridge tables. We also call as role playing dimensions, in other words. So that tables we may show or we may hide sometimes, or sometimes whatever, whichever, there are some tables which you use for a reporting purpose, which it is not required to show for to the end user or someone who doing the reporting. In that case we hide the tables. So it is hide and show. If is hidden off means this table will not be shown. You can see it is hidden. We'll see which tables can be hidden, which columns we can hide. We'll see with example. And storage mode, this is import mode. By default, what mode we have taken the data, it will show here storage mode. If you click on the column, this is the table properties. Again, we have column properties as well. So column properties also will be same as table properties, like name of the column and synonyms of that and description, display folder. Sometimes what happens is we create some folders. So there is something like how we create measures. So let's say, for example, we have a measure here. So let me we have created one measure, right? So these are total films. Now even if you click on this one, total films, now I can write something like, okay, I'll write something called measures. It's a folder. So what happens is the moment we create a folder, this calculation will be shown under measures. It's a folder. So we can create some folders, and we can maintain some calculations, or we can also make some columns inside the folder. Usually we don't do for columns. Any calculations in our in any DAX calculations, whatever we have in a Power BI report, we make sure instead of creating in multiple places, we make some folders and we can place under the folders. That time we can use these folders. And there are a few general options for these columns, like what is the format of that, what is it is like data type we call, it is a true or false date. These are the basic data types available in Power BI. So that if someone is who is familiar with databases, they are also very familiar with these data types. Like we have string data type, text, numbers, again whole number, integer, decimal types, date data type, date time, binary like true or false. There are many data types. And by default, Power BI also will detect automatically what type it is. Again, this also belongs to the options and settings. So I remember, if you go to the options again, there will be an option to type detection. There is an option for type detection. So if that is disabled, sometimes this will not detect properly. In that case, we have to manually come and change the data types, but that is not advisable. And again, whether this percentage format in 1000 separator will be mainly used for the calculation. Now, for example, if there's a number called 1456789, one big number, if I want to separate the thousand, like 143 comma 183 comma something like that, if you want to show by thousand separated, how you display that value, we can use thousand separated. That we can do by selecting one measure, or we can also do another way. So if you go to the report tab itself, if you click on let's say if I search for the total films here, if I click on this one, even here we have something same like this. The same, the descriptive will be there, percentage, comma separator. The same thing we can also do from here. But in general, we don't go here and do these changes because in the process of report development, if we click on any calculations, we can do from here. If we go to, sorry, we go to this one, we can get this by default. So we can change the percentage again. For percentage calculations, it will be useful. That time we'll see why this percentage will be useful, why this comma separator will be useful. We will see that in action, but understand we can, it's just how we display the numbers. For that we use this comma separator, or sometimes we need to show the amounts as well. That time we need to show in currencies, like which currency it should belong, it's Indian rupee or US dollar, something like that. And also we have a few more options like format. This format will work mostly with date types. For example, whole number is just whole number, decimal number is decimal number. Let's say we have any dates. For example, let me see if I have any date field here. um, Release date. Okay, we have something called release date. It is when the film got released. So now by default it is date time. And how I want to represent that, we have different formatting options. Whether you want to display any MMDDYY, DDMMYY, MM/DD/YYYY, there are many different formatting options you can select. It is just for display purpose. Based on this format, this will display for the in the report level. And we have something called sort by column. This is very helpful feature when we discuss, sorry, when we deal with let me show the date, when we deal with dates especially. Yeah, sorry, sort by column. So what sort by column means, let's take the example. Let's see. Okay, let's take, I think we have data for this. So in the financial table, I have month name. Now here I want to see the sales by month. Now see, by the moment if I drag and drop month name and gross sales, it is showing in like from April. So by default, the sorting is alphabetical sorting, like A, B, C, D up to Z. So now, but in general, the month means starting is Jan, Feb, March, like that, right? So to see in that format, like from Jan to December, even though if you sort from this, it will show April and is September, because if you compare the months, the last date is yes, alphabet. So in this case, what happens is it will be very useful option for sort by column. Again, for this, we need to have something called month number, because Jan means 1, Feb means 2, March means 3. So that we should have the same thing. You have month number, month name. So now what we do is, if we click on the column name, just click on, for either we can select from here or go to modeling, select the column name, and in advanced options we have this sort by column. But in general, we don't go here and do all these things. As I told, even same how percentage comma separated value we have selected from in the report pane itself. Similarly, for sort by column also we can do from here. So now I want to sort the month name by month number. That is called sort by some other column. So click on month name, and we have something called sort by column here. So if you click on sort by column, here it will be asking which column, using which column you want to sort this column. It means we are sorting one column by other column. That is in terms of sort by column. Now here I'm going to select month number. The moment I select month number, this will change in a way that this will sort by the numbers. Now see, the order got changed. Instead of from April to September, which is the previous order, now we got from Jan to December. This is the actual order we're expecting. So sort by column will be helpful, especially for this months in general. When we do calculations, even for others as well, we do something called, we sometimes do custom sorting. That also it will be useful. But in general, we mainly use this sort by column option with the months. Like this example, I think you got some idea how this works. And if you go again here, we have something called summarize by data category. So by default, for any column, any data what we take from any sources, each has some category. For example, if you click on country, you can categorize this, like whether it's a country. It is just categorization. This will not impact your reporting. We can just see with the moment if it make it as a country, it is showing as a globe symbol. It's just a categorization. It's nothing much about it. Again, summarization by default, we have default summarization is sum. We have that is the general. If you see, there is something called this, I don't know, it is sigma symbol. Uh, so if you see something like this, it means it's default summarized. So by default, if you click on this, if you see any icon like this, the summarization is sum. There is a default summarization in the Power BI. If you don't want to summarize, we can go and check. I mean, how this value should be shown when you drag and drop into report. By default, it should show sum. That is what it means. Or if you want to say maximum or something like it, let's say for example, if I take month number, if I take this one, you see by default it's showing 5530. What it's doing is it is just summing up everything and showing. Again, if I go back in this place, if I go this, if this downward arrow mark, if I click on this, I can say don't summarize. This is one way. I can say 1 to 12, or by default we can just don't summarize this. That also we can do. But usually all the numbers, all the integers, whatever we have in our reporting, I mean in our data, that will be summarized by default, which is sum. So these are the options available in our data modeling tab. And yeah, is nullable, again it's a null field or something we can decide here. But as we have data, it is we can also choose accordingly whether it can be nullable or not. I mean, so now we have seen this data modeling tab and how this looks. Now let's understand a few more concepts in data modeling. So by default, at any point of time, it will be the data filter will happen from dimension to fact. It is one to many. If you see arrow mark, from here it is going to here. That is how the filter propagation will happen in Power BI between the tables. Now here there is something called table actor table, table cast table. So if you are very new to data, I mean any data what you are working on, we don't know why these tables are not directed. Sometimes, yeah, most of the times Power BI will detect automatically between the relation between the tables. Sometimes it may not detect relationships. In that case, we manually go and create relationships in the tables according to our needs. So because I am aware of the data, this has some relation. You can see cast actor ID, actor ID. So what these tables does is, actor table contains actors. Let's say if I do select star from PBL actor, this will just give list of actors, like what is actor and actor name and date of birth. This again is a typical dimension table. Same thing, select star from cast. If I do TBL cast, it is like for this actor acted in which character in that movie. uh, this is how this looks. So this is the ID, cast ID, and in this film 33, there's the ID of the film. This is actor's ID, again cast actor ID. So this guy played some role, as some, this is something which is what role he played in that film. That is those cast and actor lists. So one actor can have many roles in many films. You got my point, right? I think the same actor acted in multiple films. Let's say film A, B, C. This guy acted in this all the films. So this is showing this what character he acted in that film, this and that film. I mean A, B, C films. This, if you see, it will be one to many because one actor have multiple characters in different films. So even if you try something here, if you try to drag actor ID and cast actor ID, it will be like this, one to many. One actor have multiple characters in multiple films. Similarly, if you see, there is something called cast film ID, and also we have something called here a film ID. Now if you try to drag film ID to cast film ID, you can see it is one to many here. So now for all these tables, this is acting as fact table. For this one, it is acting as I mean many side table. For this acting as one side table. Now see here, everywhere it is one direction will be here. It is going like this, going like this, but it is opposite. One too many, one too many. Now I want to see, for example, now there is no direct relationship between this table and this table. There is no table actor and table film table. But as per my requirement, I want to see how many films this actor acted. For example, so we have seen this actor table, right? Now I want to see, um, I want to see the count, because at any point of time 260 is the count of films, that will not change. So this Tom Cruise acted in how many films? I want to take the count. But by default, there is no direct relationship between these tables. There is something in between cast table. Through that cast table, we have relationships. So in this case, I have to filter this table from actor table, which is there is no direct relationship. It is going this one. If you have the arrow marks, it is going right. I mean, this is going this way. This is going this way. Is opposite. In this case, what we do is sometimes we enable something called bidirectional relationship. So in general, in SQL Server, it's the same thing. If you want to do, what we can do is same thing. Let's take this. So in Power BI, at one point of time, we can have relationship between one single table, other single table. It means there can be only one relationship between one table, other table. We cannot have multiple relationship with multiple table. I mean, we cannot have multiple relationship with same table. Like here we are seeing only one arrow we can have between two tables. Even though if you drag and drop something here, that will be establishing, but it will be inactive. So for example, for now, I'm just dragging something to this one, but this is not valid one. Okay, sorry, it is many to many. Let me take something where I can have director ID and film ID. Let's see if this will establish something. Okay, it is established. So now see here is, for example, between any table, between two tables, we can have only one relation, one active relation, I can say. This is dotted between. If you double click on this, it will see it is not active. Even if you try to click on active, it will show some warning, because already the relationship between the same thing. An active relationship already exists between table direct and film. To make this relationship active, deactivate the existing relationship first. It means at any point of time between two tables, we can have only one active relationship. So that is why the second relationship will not come into place unless there is some scenario. I'll explain the scenario, what exactly is that. But understand now, we cannot establish multiple relationship between two tables. At any point of time, we can have only one relationship between two tables. So let me delete this. Now coming to this one. So now I want to see how many films acted by each and every actor. So for that, what we can do is select count of star from TBL films. Now here again, join. Now I have to join three different tables to get that result, because there is no direct relationship between like how earlier we have seen, we have direct relationship between country table and film table. We can directly extracted the how many films by country. But because we have some other table in between, what we do is we have to join multiple tables. Join TBL cast table, TBL film, join TBL cast on TBL cast dot cast film ID is equal to TBL film dot film ID. Now again, I have to join one more table. Join TBL actor on TBL actor dot actor ID is equal to TBL cast dot cast actor ID. Now I have joined. Now I want to see count of star comma actor name. Now I'll just group by actor name. Now this will give the number of films acted by each and every actor. So this guy acted one film, this guy acted two films. But if you see, this will never change. This will be 260 only at any point of time. Now to achieve the same thing in Power BI, either we have multiple things to do. Either we can merge this table and this table into one and relate between this and this table, because we know that we can also write queries in the Power BI. So what we can do is, while pulling data itself, sorry, we can write it query where that will bring both cash table and film table together and load that table using writing a join query in the advanced section of advanced options of SQL Server. So I think you remember, whenever we try to load data from SQL Server, we have something like advanced options there where we can write SQL query. There we can write the join query and bring that. Then this will be directly related from actor table to this table, which is, in that case, these two will be merged together. Or second way is, we can go to Power Query Editor, and here also we can do some operations. Anyway, we will see these operations later. We have something called merge queries. So here also we can merge the tables together into one table. So we do this sometimes in our as per reporting requirements. We use merge queries to merge the tables. Other way is, we can enable bidirectional relationship between the tables. So now, because I want to see films by actor, this filter has to pass to here. But this is the opposite way. Now what I can do is, I'll double click on this. Okay, before that, let me show you. Let me have this total films. Take a table and take the actor name. Now if I see, it is everywhere 260 because there is no relation between them, and it is 260 at any point of time. Now what I'll do is, I'll just double click on this and enable both. This option is something for row level security. At that time I'll tell what is this security is specific to row level security. We'll discuss at the end of the sessions. So just click on OK for now. Now what this will do is, this will enable direction. Now see, they have two arrows here. So this will filter this one, and whatever data got filtered here, this will also filter this one. Because there is no opposite direction here. Now it is bidirectional. It will flow in both ways. Now if you go to the reporting, we can see the filter got passed, like 1 2. We have, see, the 260 got split into multiple numbers now. So if in this kind of situations, if there is no direct relationship between the tables which you want to filter the actual tables, in that case we enable this one, because this maybe your data will be different, but let's understand the concept, how bidirectional can be used and when we can use this. So but this will not recommended, because sometimes if you have a large amount of data in our reporting, this will cause some issues. That is why instead of this, either we can merge the tables, or still you want to write bidirectional. So what we can do is, there is a DAX function called cross filter. So we use that function to enable this one. So what we can do is, I'll write one more DAX formula here. So let me create a new measure. So go to modeling and new measure, or again from home also we can create new measure. So usually measures we can reuse. It means already have count rows of TBL film where I got count rows of total films. Either I can use that one, or I can also write new thing. So what I can write is, let's say total films by direction. Let me give the name like this, is equal to, where a function called calculate. Again, we will discuss this, what is calculate function in later sessions. But understand calculate of, we can directly use total films here, which is referring the other measure, or we can write again calculate count rows of films also we can write. Either way we can write, comma, here we pass a filter. So what the filter is, we have a function called cross filter. We can see this will enable bidirectional internally in the DAX level, not in the data model level. So that is why when we have a relationship challenges, this is one of them we can face, where we cannot pass filter directly between the tables. In that case, we can use cross filter. We can see left side column name, right side column name, and cross filter type. So what I can do here is, you can read here, specifies cross filtering direction to be used in the evaluation of DAX expression. This relationship is defined by naming arguments as two columns that serves endpoints. Now here what I can do is, so between which tables I want to enable bidirectional. So now I have enabled bidirectional between cast table and film table. Same thing. So TBL cast table. So TBL cast table cast film ID, comma TBL film table TBL film ID. Now this will enable bidirectional internally. Now I think some issue. Let me cross filter. Oh, sorry. One more augment I missed, which is both. So here you can specify both, which is bidirectional. Now, if I just click on this, this will create a function. I mean, this will create a calculation. Now, I have removed here. There is no relationship. That is why if I use actual measure, it will show 260 only. Now, what I'll do is I just copy this, and I'll just, instead of this total films, I'll just drag the other one, which is total films bidirectional. Now see here, this will give the actual what you're expecting. So here we are using cross filter to bypass the relation internally without using the model, which is, if you enable that, that will cause some issue with some other tables in your model. That is why whichever is required, we can use this one. So I think, hope you understand what does it mean, and how we got, like, how cross filter is enabled and what are different options, and what is single direction, what is bidirectional. So we'll continue the same with in the next sessions. So that's all. Thank you so much, guys.